Hi everyone, it's Stefan from Random Design. This time I teamed up with Vertigo Games for their new VR game Metro Awakening. In this highly atmospheric post-apocalyptic game, you are on a journey of spiritual awakening within the Metro universe. To fully immerse myself into this fear-inducing world, I combined my VR headset with one of the most iconic items in the game, the gas mask. Now, have fun watching how I built this piece. I started with a 3D model to perfectly adjust the mask to my VR headset. All details were added and the model was prepared for 3D printing. I used PLA on my Prusa MK3S, and after a couple hours the printing was done. I removed the support material and started with the post-processing. The entire surface was sanded down with 120 grit sandpaper to remove the 3D printing layer lines. For edges, I used a small file. The filter of the mask was 3D printed in resin, and it was also slightly sanded to prepare it for the next steps. To make the filter more robust, I planned to make a silicon mold and cast it in a urethane resin. Therefore, mold boxes were 3D printed and all of the gaps were closed with some hot glue. Then I mixed the silicon. For a perfect mold, all the air bubbles were removed from the silicon with a vacuum chamber. After pouring, I let the silicon cure in a pressure pot. On the next day, the molds were cut open with an X-Acto knife and the original template was removed. The molds were filled with a fast-setting urethane resin, and after curing I had a perfect copy of the original template. I added already some scratches and grooves to make the filter look used. After priming, the base paint of all pieces was applied with an airbrush. For highlights, I masked specific areas and used a brush. To add more details, I cold cast some parts with resin and aluminum powder for a realistic looking metal effect. The parts were polished with metal wool to really bring out the metallic shine. Then they were glued into place with superglue and epoxy glue. For the next weathering step, I wet sanded the edges of the filter to create realistic looking scratches and chips. More details were added with an airbrush before gluing both parts of the filter together. At some spots I dabbed on multiple layers of brown and orange to create a rust-like effect. Then it was time to work on the VR headset. After priming, I painted the headset in a dark grey tone. The white headband was colored black with a dark fabric dye. After everything was done, I assembled all parts and connected them to the VR headset. So, that's it. My modified VR headset is done and I'm ready to immerse myself in the post-apocalyptic world of Metro Awakening. Find more about the game in the video description below. Hope you liked the video and see you next time. Bye bye!